What's up, Bay Gang? It's your fave Alicia, and I'm back with another video. So you guys, look at me. I know I look a hot mess, but you guys, listen, I'm at the library right now. Today is April 26th, okay? Today is one day before I have to present my DSW Capstone project virtually. So I present tomorrow, April 27th at 2 p.m. And here I am in the library, as you can see behind me. And I'm stressed out. You guys, as you can see, I'm stressed out. Listen, the stress comes. I have to present, I have to defend my capstone. The same way that PhDs say, they defend their dissertation. Us doctorate DSWs, we defend our capstone. So yeah, this is the big shebang. This is what I've been working on for the last 2 years in this program, and it has finally come time for me to just let it all out and show and showcase everyone what I've been working on, all my new knowledge, right? So yeah, I'm stressed out just because, like I said, it's the day before, and I'm still like sprucing up my presentation. I will flip the camera and kind of let you guys see what I'm working on. I'm doing it via, I'm using Canva. So some of my peers are using PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi. I chose to use Canva. Canva's just a lot easy. I love Canva. I like everything about Canva. I love the font, the pictures, the backgrounds, just everything. And it's just so super easy to me. So I chose Canva. So yeah, that's why I look like this, so that tomorrow I can look so pretty and so well put together and so professional. And I am very nervous, but I'm very excited. I did announce via social media, hey, if you guys want to see me present, let me know. You also can get free CEUs, because did you guys know that the College of Social Work at UK is offering participants, people who come to the showcase virtually and watch, you can get free CEUs for every presentation that you attend, guys. That's so awesome. So that right there sparked the interest in a lot of my peers outside of my program. I'm talking about friends that I have in like the nursing degree, all kind, like, so they're like, hey, I'm coming. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, I think I sent my link and my information to about 15 people via social media. So these are just outside of people in the education world who plan to come to my my presentation. So I'm like, wow, I don't know. Maybe like 20 people will come. I don't know. Listen, I've been sitting in on my peers' presentations, and one of my peers had 60 people attend her presentation. 60. If I have 60 people, oh my goodness. Listen, it'll be a blessing though. It'll definitely be a blessing, because that just means that people want to hear about the good work that I have been doing. So yeah, like I said, right now I am still working and kind of sprucing up my PowerPoint. I love that I went on the last day. Tomorrow's actually the last day of the presentation, the showcase. It was from Monday to Wednesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So I love that I got to see like the first 2 days of my peers go, because it kind of just lets me know, what works in the presentation, what doesn't, how interactive I need to make it, what I should take out, what I should put in, right? So I kind of got some, in my opinion, I got some brownie points, because I can kind of just, see and critique and kind of just my presentation like really good, because I do kind of feel a lot of pressure to make my presentation really good, just because I know that so many people may attend. So I'm like really kind of stressing out, and I have to keep telling myself like, okay, maybe you're overdoing it, don't overdo it so much, like, with the graphics and so many slides, because my presentation can only be so it's from 2 to 2:50, but they want to, I don't want to talk for 50 minutes. Like, I want to have room for discussion, I want to have room for like interactivities, I want to have room for questions, right? So I don't want to talk for 50 minutes straight talking about research. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to talk. My goal is for me to talk anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes. 40, it all depends. We shall see. But let me flip the camera, guys. Let me show you guys how I made, using Canva, how I made my I won't say invitation, but kind of like my flyer, kind of saying like, hey you guys, I'm presenting, if you want to come, message me. So let me flip the camera and show you guys. So guys, right now I have 35 slides total. So I will show you guys the title. So here's the title of my capstone project. Black youth are suffering in silence, advancing social work education to better address the mental health of African American youth, you guys. So I'm really thinking about taking out the cartoon characters and putting in real photos, because some of my peers used real photos and I think it just made the presentation look so much more authentic. So I'm gonna switch out and kind of take these characters out and just go to Google, kind of like how I did here. I'm gonna go to Google and find me a real picture. So yeah, so I don't want to show you guys too much, but yeah, this is it. So guys, look at this right here. So this is a screenshot from the University of Kentucky online. They like already made this for us, and it kind of said like our name, the title of our capstone, it has the logo, it has the time, our credentials. So I screenshot that and I put it over a blue background and I added these words, which says, you know, University of Kentucky, Doctorate of Social Work, I'm presenting April 27th. And then I added my own picture. And on Canva, they let you take out the background. Let me see if I can see it. So on here, you go to edit image and they let you take the background out. That's the button you use to take the background. So that is how I made me backgroundless, as you can see. And oh my gosh, you guys, it looks so nice. I posted it to my social media account, so I'm sure all of you, hopefully all of you follow me on Instagram, so you were able to see that. And in the corner I have messaged me if you would like to attend. I try to make that small, you know. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. But I got a lot. But yeah, I love this, you guys. What do you think? Yes, I love it, I love it. Okay, so like I said, I posted that to my social media and a lot of people reached out. So yeah, I anticipate that it might be more than 15 people attending my virtual showcase, and that's fine. I'm excited. Like I said, I've been attending all my cohorts presentations virtually, and they're awesome. I'm so proud of each and every one of my peers in my cohort, all their research, all their hard work. It's finally over. They presented and they did an excellent job. Literally, their presentations were so good, so informative, like not boring. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud to be a part of this cohort, and I just cannot wait to go next tomorrow, 2 p.m. So yes, so right now I am just going to keep working on this PowerPoint. Tomorrow, the day of my presentation, I'm going to take you guys with me. I think I'll have you guys help me pick out an outfit, because you know I'm going to get dressed head from toe. Even though it's virtual via Zoom, I'm going to get dressed head to toe. I'm going to fix my hair, do some little sprucing up with the face, might add a little makeup, do my eyebrows, you know, all that good stuff. So yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. I'm gonna take you guys with me, and then tomorrow I'll also take you guys with me to the presentation. I'll get my camera out and I'll record some of it, just so you guys can kind of see and hear how a doctoral social work presentation goes, your capstone, you know. So I hope you guys are just excited as I am. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Come on. Hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up. I was saying hit that subscribe button. I don't even think you can thumbs down. But anyways, hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm kind of whispering because I'm in the library, but hopefully you guys can hear me. So anyways, I'll see you guys later tonight when I get home and pick my outfit out. What is up, Bay Gang? Today is the day that I present/defend my capstone. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, you guys, and it's like 1:15, so I'm like kind of getting jittery, you guys, because I present at 2 p.m. via Zoom. It is a virtual capstone, which is so convenient, you guys, all right? I love it. It makes for more people to join. They can join in their car and work on a break, right? While they're shopping at Walmart, they can hear me speak. So I love that it's virtual. So you guys, I know I said you was gonna help me pick my outfit, but I was like, you know what? I need to go with blue, right? UK Kentucky blue. So I put on my blue shirt and I just have on like some black not sweats. I'm like they're more professional than sweats, but they're just like black bottoms. So I just have on some black bottoms, and yes, I'm feeling like I'm ready. So hair wise, I'm just gonna pull my hair to the back a little bit, just like this much, because I want my focus to be my mouth, my face, not anything else. I just have some little stud earrings. I don't know why I love putting a headband on. I just feel so professional when I do. So this is what I look like. So like I said, right now it's 1:15. I'm about to hurry up and eat like this little lean cuisine lunch, because I want to kind of like feel my body, get me more ready and amped up for this 50-minute presentation. I don't expect to talk for 50 minutes. My goal is at least 40. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I'm gonna bring you guys with me. I'm gonna take you downstairs and kind of prop you guys up and kind of let you kind of see me presenting. So I'm so excited. Let's do this, y'all. This is the setup. I'm ready. Got my notebook, my computer, got my water. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. So it is 1:26. 1:26. A little over 30 minutes until I present. So let's do this. I'm excited. I'm amped. I'm amped, y'all. If you can't tell, can you tell? I'm amped. I'm ready. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm about to present everything I've been doing. I shouldn't feel nervous. This is my work. This is my baby. I'm just going to show you guys what I've been doing. I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to invite you into my world. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do it. Do this. Well, thank you for being here with me today. We will begin shortly.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are right at 2 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and introduce Miss Alicia Dawson so we can get started. We may have some more folks pop in as we get started in the beginning, but I do want to make sure I welcome each of you and thank you for joining us today. I'm Dr. Laura Escobar-Ratliff, and I'm a clinical assistant professor here, as well as the DSW director for the College of Social Work. And I am super excited and proud to introduce Alicia Dawson. Ms. Dawson is a dedicated social worker. She is a leader and an adjunctive professor with over 10 years of direct practice experience working with individuals and families. Currently, she teaches adjunctively for the University of Kentucky College of Social Work. Ms. Dawson's mission is to advocate for and support policies that address racial and mental health inequities. Today, Ms. Dawson is presenting her capstone entitled Black Youth Are Suffering in Silence, Advancing Social Work Education to Better Address the Mental Health of African American Youth. Thank you for being here today with us. I want to remind you to please make sure you mute your microphone, and soon to be Dr. Dawson, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. ER. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I did leave my Yahoo email in case anyone wanted to reach out to me. So feel free to take that down. It's just my last name, first and last name with the period in the middle. So without further ado, let's get started. So, such as Dr. ER stated, my title of my capstone is Black Youth Are Suffering in Silence, Advancing Social Work Education to Better Address the Mental Health of African American Youth. So, some learning objectives that we will go over today. Of course, the first one is going to be Black youth mental health needs. And then we're going to move into school social workers and what their role is with assisting Black youth. And then we're going to move to challenging social work education and their current curriculums. And then we will move to how to prepare social workers to work with Black youth.
I think that was great consulting.
And I just want to remind everyone, if you can, just mute for me. All right. So, practice problem. So, racial and mental health disparities among Black youth have become a serious public health issue. Black youth are less likely to seek and even receive mental health services. So you guys, my presentation is going to be about Black youth not receiving mental health services, and when they are receiving mental health services, how they're not appropriate or adequate services to address what Black youth are experiencing. Public health crisis. So the CDC says that teens are reporting poor mental health at higher rates. Between 2009 and 2019, we saw the percentage of teens reporting persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. And this rose from 26% to 37%. And then again, 2021, the figure rose to 44%. So let's stay there. So public health crisis. This is why I focused on Black youth for my capstone project. I wanted it to be relevant. I wanted it to be something that means a lot to me. And it's important, right? It's something that I do work with. I work with Black youth. So I wanted to bring more awareness, and I wanted to speak more and do more research on this public health issue and figure out what is going on with our Black youth. So right now, quickly, I want you guys just to watch a short 1.5-2 minute clip. So I really want you guys to focus in on this video, because I am going to ask you guys some quick questions about what you hear. So right now I'm going to play this for you guys.
Racism means basically like
a large part of a race feels that they're superior to another race, and so not only do they believe that, but they act on it.
Examples would be in class. Sometimes I'd be the only Black kid, and we read a book like, I don't know, Huck Finn, and then there's that uncomfortable moment, the magic word come up, and people would look at you and like, what's his reaction, and things like that.
I was walking home from school with this one white girl, and we just got off the bus, and we were almost home, and there were these group of Black kids that just got out of school. And she was like, oh, let's cross the street, there's a group of Black kids, I don't want to run into them. And so she told me, which I don't even know why she would do that.
I used to wear a sweatband like just to reinforce my wrist, and I had a teacher come up to me and say, you should take it off because it looks gang affiliated.
I've been in situations where, I had to cross the street because I didn't want to scare the white lady that was walking.
I would actually, it would get to the point where I would start to count how many times a woman would clutch her bag.
When I was 16, I was leaving my mom's house in my pajamas, which had snowmen on them, with my brother, and we were actually stopped by the police rather aggressively.
I've been stopped by the cops on my way between classes, because we have two separate buildings, walking from one building to the other building, as my white students in the same class walk by me.
It's kind of upsetting because we live in a world where my mom has to be afraid when I walk outside from the people that are like meant to protect me. And I don't like when my mother feels like that. I love my mother. I want her to always be happy.
I walk tall, I keep my head up, very, try to be very articulate and polite. And so, of course, I was like, okay, I'm going to be fine because I act a certain way. And of course, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. The way people perceive you, is not up to you. My parents taught.
All right. So you guys, this is going to take a little participation from you all. We just watched a video on several young Black males give their perspective on their experiences in this world. So what I want to ask of you all is just to write one word in the chat that resonated with you. It could be an emotion, it could be anything that comes to mind. What is something that just came to you after watching this short clip? And keep in mind, it's not anonymous. People can see your word, but this is a safe space here, so. Yeah. So I'm gonna move back up. I'm gonna start reading some of them. Fear, racism, fear, sadness, afraid, anger, sadness, upset, heartbreaking, tired, frustrated, prejudice. Yes, I love that one. Fear, sadness, anxiety, anger, exhaustion, annoyance, fear, heartbreaking. Yes, you guys. And fear, it seems like, was the number one response that a lot of you participants felt, right? And I felt it too. I felt the fear when I watched this. I felt the heartbreak for these young men, right? Saying, hey, I had to, walk across the street because I didn't want a certain person to be afraid of me. I felt angry, right? I'm a mom. I have a black son. So a part of me feels angry that to know that some black males feel this way, right? I don't want my son to grow up and feel that way, right? Frustration, tired, right? Everything that black people have been through. Tired, I think, is a good word to resonate with watching that clip, right? Anger and sadness. Sadness is a good one. Sadness, we need to stay there. Sometimes we don't want to admit when we're sad, but that is sad to watch, right? It is sad to hear these young black men say this, right? So what I want to say to you is, if we as adults feel this way when listening to young black men speak and about their experiences, just imagine how an 8-year-old feels, a 10-year-old feels, right? A 13-year-old feels in this world, right? So I want you to take that into account and keep this with you all throughout this presentation, because that is my role and other social workers' role, and any professional, anyone on this Zoom, our role, right, is to care about others, right? So I think that was a good representation of listening, right, and really emphasizing and understanding, right, where are they coming from, what living in America means to them. Yeah, and basically that was a really great clip on racism. So aside from racism, right, what else is going on in this world, right? Why is black youth's mental health declining so much? And I know you guys are already thinking it, and you're absolutely right. COVID-19 and the pandemic. The pandemic has come and flipped our world upside down, and black youth have been impacted more than ever because of the pandemic. And when you think about it, children, teenagers, they once were in physical school and they had to transition into virtual school, right? That was a hard transition for a lot of kids, not even black kids, right? But for black youth, it had an even more impactful impact on them, just because they lost that support and that access to care, right? They lost that access to care from teachers, from counselors at school, right? Mental health care at school, right? So now when you take that away, we can see how mental health now has increased in black youth, right? And then what we know about COVID-19 is that it is impacting the black community so much, right? We are seeing that more of our people are dying by COVID-19, right? So think about a child who once lived with a grandmother and then COVID-19 came in and unfortunately she passed away, right? So this has had a major impact on black youth. And then when you think about what happened when the pandemic and kids having to transition to virtual school, they're having to be at home more, right? So they're at home, they're out in their neighborhoods more, right? So that puts them at risk for exposure to trauma. That puts them at risk for abuse, right? COVID-19 and the pandemic brought more stress, right? More stress to parents, right? So in the home, who knows what is happening? But we know what's happening because the data is coming out and it's saying, hey, black children are being abused more because they're in the home more, right? They're not being nourished more because parents don't have the food to feed them, right? Once like they did when children were at school, right? It's so many things that is happening because of COVID-19 and the pandemic. So moving along to something else that is going on, and you guys see the picture, you all know what is happening. We are living in a world of plenty of, unfortunately, social injustices, and such as police brutality, right? Every black and brown person on this picture is no longer with us, whether that been from police brutality, whether that been from being murdered by someone someone else, right? And I say that when I look at the picture of Trayvon Martin, right at the bottom. Trayvon Martin was murdered in the neighborhood. Why? Wearing a hood, right? And just to give you a quick backstory on Trayvon Martin, when, you know, unfortunately when he was killed, murdered, I was still in my master's program, and I remember just hearing about it, reading about it, and having to process what happened. Why is his killer not going to jail? What do you mean he didn't go to jail for this? It's okay, right? And I remember not wanting to go to class. I remember being angry, being sad, being scared. I'm a big sister of 3 younger brothers, so I was absolutely terrified that somebody could walk up and murder a young black male for no reason, right? So when I'm thinking about situations like that, and let it be known, I'm in my early 20s, right? So you would think someone in their early 20s can process much better than a child, because we can. But think about kids. Think about kids when they hear, when they see about the murders of black and brown people, how that has an impact on them. We all know, some of you like me who live in Louisville, Kentucky, right? The tragic loss of Breonna Taylor, how much that had a great impact on everyone in the Louisville area. And think about how that had an impact on just Louisville children, right? So yeah, that's definitely something you want to think about. And that kind of like moves me along to my next slide. Vicarious trauma, you guys. If you don't know what that term means, that is a term, to describe feelings, experiences, symptoms that may come up from being exposed to certain things such as trauma, right? Such as Black Death. So PBS has this quote. They say when Black Death goes viral, it can trigger PTSD like trauma. You guys, our Black children have instant access to social media, instant access to news, instant access to unfortunate videos of people like George Floyd being murdered on the ground, being stepped on by a police officer, right? So think about the trauma that a 9-year-old now has suffered and will always have in their mind, just because, you know, they have that instant access, right? So that's vicarious trauma. So when we say, why are Black youth within the last 2 years having higher rates of suicide rates? This could explain why this vicarious trauma that Black youth are experiencing. So what we know, Black youth are already at higher risk of suffering from PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, depression, and so many other mental health conditions. But it exasperates the issue when those mental health conditions go untreated. So also what we know is when we see kids who are exhibiting like mental health conditions, concerns, is sometimes it can also be portrayed in their school success, right? So we sometimes can see that children who have unmet needs in mental health, they have low grade point averages, defiant, aggressive behaviors, poor attendance, higher dropout rates, right? These are all reactions, could be possible reactions to mental health, unmet mental health needs. So you guys, I have a poll for you, and I want to just use your participation. It's really quick. So let me share that with you all. So it says, do you know a Black child / teen who could benefit from mental health care but is not receiving services at this time? So it's just a yes or no. Give you guys a little time to participate. All right, 20 seconds. Oh, somebody's still answering. I'll let you guys keep answering. All right, you guys, let's see the results. So 100%, yes. All of you who have participated in this poll today said you know a Black child / teen who could benefit from mental health care but is not receiving services at this time. Let me go back in, share my screen, you guys. All right. So, what we know is that effective mental health services for Black students are urgently needed more than ever. But first, we have to kind of look at how can we better prepare social workers to provide these services to Black youth. So I don't know if any of you don't know this or not, but school services are like one of the easiest and most convenient ways for Black youth to receive mental health services, right? So school social workers, school counselors, they're like the first responders to mental health needs because they provide those services way beyond teachers' expertise, school staff, right? They went to school for this. They know what to do. So school services, mental health services are so very important, which brings back to the point of how Black youth kind of lost those access of care when they had to go into virtual school, right? They were no longer given those services, or maybe given that services, but not as much because of the pandemic and being on virtual school. So something that I want to, this is the big issue in my capstone. So Black youth needing mental health services and Black youth receiving services remain disconnected. Even when students seek help and even when they are able to access mental health care, they're not receiving culturally responsive treatment from school social workers, and that is the problem. It does not matter if you can give therapy to a child. Are you giving the therapy that is appropriate to the child, right? Because as social workers, we are to do no harm, right? We are to do no harm. But who's to say that we are not doing harm if we have not been trained on how to effectively treat Black youth? So that is what my capstone is about. So you guys, if Black children are not receiving the correct mental health services, you know what that means? That means Black youth choose to suffer in silence. But why is that? I got another poll for you guys really quick. Hold on real quick. So what barriers do you feel are keeping you from seeking mental health services, from receiving those services? What do you think? Right. Give you all 5 more seconds in case someone wants to keep. All right, let's see our results, you guys. So stigma, 19% answered stigma, 10% answered lack of trust in providers, 71% answered all of the above. You guys, no one was wrong. All of these are correct answers. Stigma, racism, lack of trust in providers, all of the above. These are some of the barriers, some of the reasons that keeps Black youth from receiving or seeking mental health services, especially in the school environment. Let me go back to share. All right. So does anyone want to chime in and kind of speak to that? I know we have some professionals in here who work in school settings. We have some social workers in here. We have a lot of professionals. If anyone wants to speak to that, I would definitely give you some time to do that. And it could be, you could put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. And I'll speak really quickly to the lack of trust in providers, right? As a social worker, I cannot tell you how many times I have, as a therapist also, so social worker therapist, how many times a child has come to me, a Black child, and they say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're Black. And I say, oh, well, okay, I'm glad I'm Black too. I'm glad to see you, meet you. But, you know, and I'm curious, why do you say that? And they say, because, no, I can't talk to such and such social worker because they, you know, I don't trust them. My mom said I can't trust them, right? And I'm thinking, this is awful, right? That they feel like they cannot have trust in providers. But is it their fault? Absolutely not. Not at all, right? And that's the purpose of why we're here today, because I'm going to speak to how some social workers make this a thing for Black kids, why they make them feel unsafe. And I see your hand, Nefertiti. Let me see. Can you unmute yourself? Yep.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Hello.
Hey.
I'm a mental health care provider myself, and LPCC. Just looking at the fact that in school systems, a lot of people attribute the mental health issues of Black young people as behavioral issues. So therefore, I feel like that definitely falls under the umbrella of racism, because we're not even giving our young people the chance to benefit from mental health services that may be available to them, because we're automatically going to punitive measures, and then even then not even looking at a restorative umbrella for those kiddos to fall into. So definitely feeding into the, you know, cradle to prison pipeline, and just taking a very behavioral standpoint for those kids who are not even receiving any type of mental health services to address the trauma that they have experienced, and shape a more restorative future for them.
Yes, Neff. Yes. Thank you for speaking to that. Most definitely. Yeah, you're in the school system, so you see it, right? You probably hear other professionals say, oh, they're just bad. He just doesn't want to be here. He acts this way all the time, right? But have you really given this child a mental health evaluation? Have you really sat down and tried to see maybe why is he acting out? Could this be a result of an untreated mental health condition, right? So absolutely, Neff. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for bringing that point up. Most definitely. Okay. So here, so what we know, right? So these are just quotations from young Black youth who say things like, I don't trust social workers. They will judge me. They don't look like me, so they won't understand what I am going through. I had a bad experience with a social worker already, and I do not want to try again. That one is one that I hear a lot from young Black kids, right? Especially children who maybe had experience or a past with social services, right? So they already have like a PTSD type of reaction when they come to work with any social worker, right? They feel like, oh, I may be in trouble because I have to work with a social worker, because I have to talk with a counselor, with a therapist, right? So they feel like, oh, I already had a bad experience, or I didn't like that experience, so no, I'm not telling anyone what I'm feeling. I'm not telling anyone I'm sad or I'm thinking about suicide, right? So yeah, most definitely. And let me see. So, social workers' role. What we know is social workers of all race must be properly equipped with the skill set needed to work with Black youth. Let me say that again. Social workers of all race. It does not matter that I am Black. I still need to be equipped with the skill set to work with Black youth, right? Not all Black people have this or share the same experience. I think it's important to note. Some people think that all Black people come like from the hood, or all Black people experience this and that. That's not the case, right? So who are we to say that this Black social worker will know how to address or approach the problem that is in front of them, right? So that's why it's important to say that no matter what your race is, in social work education, we need to be teaching social workers how to better work with Black youth. So here's the problem with social work education right now. It's too much white supremacy in the books. It's too much white supremacy in the case studies, right? There's not enough culturally competent training, not enough culturally competent language. So if we have so much white ideology in social work education, how can we trust that the social workers, when they graduate, that they truly can approach and work with Black youth? We can't. So how do we know that white supremacy is in social work education? Research tells us. There's, like I said, in textbooks, right? In certain textbooks that are old, that we shouldn't even be using, right? They may suggest oppression. They may suggest racist ideology, right? And then we just know that social work has already been taught from a Western worldview, right? So that just takes out any validation of alternative, like cultural context, right? And then colleges and universities are not offering specialized training for social workers so that they know how to specifically work with Black youth. And I think that's a problem because a social worker may take a diversity class and they think, oh, I know how to work with Black youth. Well, you know how to work with minority groups as a whole, but do you truly know how to work with Black youth? That's the thing. We cannot generalize all minority groups together. Even though I am Black and I might be able to connect, or I might have a similar story to someone who is Latina, does not mean that I can see everything through their lens, through their eyes, that I have lived through, I've walked through their shoes, right? So we cannot keep going on in social work and saying, hey, the social workers took a diversity class so they know how to work with minority groups. No, we have to have specialized training. So we'll talk more about that. And like I said, oppression and prejudice is still allowed in classrooms, right? I'm pretty sure some of you have sat in the classroom and sat next to somebody who raised their hand and said a comment that was like, okay, that was prejudice, right? Or that came from a place of privilege. And the teacher is not saying to that person, hey, let's talk more about why you said that, right? So this is how we know that white supremacy is still in social work education. So you guys, let's get into what I have been working on these last 2 years. Let's get into my research. So for the capstone, we had to do 3 products. The first product was a systemic review. So in the systemic review, I wanted to look up and say, hey, okay, I know that there's some school-based services available to Black youth, but let's really look. Let me look at the literature and let me see how effective are these school-based health centers in truly treating Black youth. So the research question was, how are school-based health centers effective in addressing the mental health needs of Black students? So some of you may be thinking, what is a school-based health center? So listen, a school-based health center, some people can call it like school-based health services. Some people really do call it school-based health center because it's like a separate entity inside the school. And in that center, it's just collaborative intervention. So inside the center, it'll be social workers, psychologists, nurses, nurse practitioners, physicians, right? And they offer these services that kids need that they might not be having the access to outside of school. So they can screen for mental health services, right? Health screenings for like diabetes, asthma management. And the good thing about school-based health centers and services is that it saves Medicaid a lot of money for schools who do have these services in them. So they're definitely, from a political, point of view, macro, they definitely help save money when schools do have them present. And then also they're kind of always located in like low economic neighborhoods, schools for marginalized populations. So for my systemic literature review, I had to find supportive literature. So I had to do a literature review. So I only wanted current data. I looked from 2011 to 2001. These are the databases that I looked: Escobo, Google Scholar. I only used search terms that were general to what I wanted to look up. So counseling, African American, mental health. And you guys, I found 2,219 results, but only 6 studies met my inclusion and exclusion criteria. That says a lot. That's kind of bad. If all of these results come up, but only I can pull out 6 and say, hey, these 6 supporting literature actually prove that school-based health centers are effective for Black youth, that's a bad thing. That means that there is no one doing research on Black youth and school health services. So I only found 6 studies that I could use. So what did those 6 studies say? What did the results say? Well, they definitely said that for the schools that host the school-based health centers, there is some evidence that they reduce but do not eliminate mental health care disparities for Black youth. They're very effective. They offer safe spaces. A lot of them found that a high percentage of Black males were using school-based health centers for counseling, which is excellent. They're really effective in treating, assessing trauma exposure, because what we have is social workers and counselors, providing mental health evaluations at the school-based health centers. Some of the reasons that brought students to school-based health centers was suicide ideation, family relationships, depression, peer pressure. And the data showed that when school-based health centers were offered to Black youth, they had lower prevalence rates of alcohol and drug use and cigarette smoking within 30 days of them using services. So I love that these 6 studies helped me find this. I would have loved to find more studies, but you know, that's implications for social work. That's something that I talked about in my systemic literature review. Like, hey, we need more awareness. We need more funding for school-based health centers. So it is vital for social workers to advocate for school-based health centers, research, and awareness, kind of like what I talked about, because when a student like me wants to do research and there's no research there, right? That says a lot. And what the data does show for what research is there is that they truly are effective. Okay, you guys, let's do one more poll. So this poll asks, how can non-social workers support the expansion of school-based health services? So people outside of social workers, how do you think they can help support school-based health services being available for Black youth? All right, I'll show those results. All right, you guys are absolutely right. No one got it wrong. All these are great answers. All these are correct. All the above, right? So they have public hearings on school services. We can write letters to our senators, to our representatives. We can lobby for policy changes. We need new policy that say, hey, focus on school services for Black youth, for minority youth, for all youth, right? So you're absolutely right. So if you are on this Zoom meeting and you're not a social worker, you can get involved also. Thank you for participating with that, you guys. All right. Let me go back. All right. So product 2 is a conceptual paper. So I had to conceptualize the need for culturally centered theories in social work curriculums. What we know now, we already talked about it, there's too much white supremacy in social work education. So I wanted to conceptualize the need for having more culturally centered theories. And the culturally centered theory that I chose was critical race theory. I know you guys heard about it. CRT is just one of those theories that lays the groundwork for social workers to learn how to challenge those traditional beliefs, those beliefs that they had, that they got from their mom, their dad, right? That's passed down. Right? CRT is going to help challenge racism, the way they think about racism. It's going to it's going to help develop them to be more anti-oppressive practitioners, right? CRT calls for social workers to do more trauma-informed work, to be more culturally competent, non-judgmental. So we cannot abolish CRT, right? I know we had a past president who said we shouldn't use CRT. We can't do that because CRT has core values that social workers need and should follow when working with minority groups such as Black youth. And the third paper, my last paper, was the most fun paper in my opinion, the application paper. So I am in the education track here at the here at the University of Kentucky in the doctorate program. So the application paper, I just had to come up with a way of how can I, what recommendation can I give to help social workers become more culturally competent social workers so that they can work with Black youth. So what my recommendation is that universities and colleges, they need to offer specific courses geared towards treating Black mental health. And that starts with trauma-informed social work. You all, we just thinking about the very first clip that we seen, right? How kids have been traumatized, thinking about what they've gone through with COVID, seeing social injustices, police brutality. We need trauma work, right? And NSAW says for social workers, we have to recognize and respect dignity and worth of a person. So to do that, we have to train our social workers to be culturally competent and to give culturally competent interventions such as CBT, such as ACEs, adverse child, I forgot adverse child, but ACEs, I know you guys heard of ACEs. But ACEs tells us if, it's a test, how has this child been impacted by trauma, and if what way, what can we do with this information, right? Trauma work, we know that it's 5 principles: safety, choice, collaboration, trustworthiness, empowerment. Empowerment is my favorite one, right? And empowerment can be taught in the classroom, but working with our peers, working with teachers, right? So that's why it's really important for social work education to teach empowerment in the school and to not graduate students without already teaching them these principles. And then also trauma-informed work, we have to use updated literature. We can't use this old literature. We have to bring in the new literature. So social justice, diversity, anti-racism, and social work. So I said for my application paper that, hey, social workers need to be taught anti-racism social work practice. We need to teach social workers about prejudice, about power, privilege, oppression, right? We need to have social workers do more implicit bias training. We need to say, hey, some of us have privilege. Can you identify that privilege before you go into work with Black youth? Because if you can't do that as a student, you can't do that as a clinician, right? And we want to challenge color blindness. We don't want to hear this, I don't see color, I don't see color. See color. Color is us. It's okay to see color. It's okay to see that this person looks different than me. But so what I'm saying is, what do you do with this, right? Stop saying you don't see color. Let's learn how to work with people of color versus saying I don't see color. And like I said, competency 2 and CSWE, engage in diversity and difference in practice. So my last one is critical race theory. I kind of already talked about that, right? So critical race theory, my recommendation is that social workers need to dig deep on the definition of race. We need to really understand race as a social construct. We need to learn how to tackle social injustices as social workers, right? It's not enough to say, oh, I advocate that Black Lives Matter, right? But really, how are you tackling that, right? So we want to teach students about cultural humility in the classroom, right? And this goes back to educational and policy standards. Social work has EPOS, and that just recommends that students engage in practice-informed research, you guys. So this is a way for us to develop future social work researchers. So implications for practice, revamping curriculums, help build professional and personal growth in social workers. And then social work education can influence the gap in racial disparities among Black youth. And then social workers should work towards increasing their compassion for diversity themselves, regardless of a person's gender, race, sexual orientation, political beliefs. So I just want to leave you all with a quote from me. Being a change agent starts with proper education. I so believe this. Education can do a lot for a person, can do a lot with what you want to do with this world, right? So we have to be change agents. So me, even as a social work educator, this is what I'm passionate about. So yeah. And just a small dedication. Oh my goodness. Look at me and my son. Thank you so much, God. I just want to say all praise to him. And of course, my degree is dedicated to my son Amir, my parents, my partner, my family, my friends, my cohort who's here on this Zoom call, everyone who is present with me on this Zoom call. Thank you. My UK faculty, Dr. ER, thank you so much, everyone. You guys keep me motivated so much. I'm so very appreciative of you being here today and listening to me speak. And that is it for my presentation. So I am open to questions if you guys have any for me. Thank you.
I have a question. I just want to say good job. It was wonderful.
Thanks, Cloud. Thank you, thank you. Thank
Good
you.
job, good job.
Thank you, everyone. All right. Well, if no one has any questions, again, thank you so much for being present. And I guess you guys can call me Dr. Dawson now, y'all. Thank you again. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day. Thank you. Thank you for my public speaking skills. Yes, y'all. Thank you.
Dr. Dawson?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you so much. And I'm an MSW student.
Yeah.
And you guys, since yesterday, I feel like you give me hope.
Oh.
Like something gonna change for our community. And it's so touching. I've been listening to you. Guys, since yesterday, it's so amazing. And thank you. I feel my kids, something gonna happen. They will have a better life.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for those sweet words. I appreciate, on behalf of me and my cohort, every, presentation you attended. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. All right.
I just want to echo her, Alicia.
Yeah.
You and your colleagues are revolutionizing our world in social work practice, and I cannot humbly thank you enough for all the work and the research you've done.
Thank you, Dr. ER. Thank you so much. It means a lot to all of us. Thank you. Yeah.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Hi, so my name is Alston and I live in Southwest Georgia.
Hi.
And it is because of your YouTube video that I saw what made me choose UK. So I just thank you, and I think that you did a beautiful job.
Yes.
All your hard work. You have a beautiful baby. So congratulations to you.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos. Yes, for you guys who don't know, I do vlog a lot. I make informative videos about just being a doctoral student. So that is so amazing to hear that. And you said you chose UK. So are you in the program? If so, congratulations. If you're applying.
I am in the program.
Oh my goodness, awesome. Let me know if you ever have any questions, okay? Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I had a great time presenting today, and thank you again. Bye. So you guys, it's over. I am finished. I am done presenting my capstone. You all can officially call me Dr. Dawson. I'll try not to get really loud, but my camera died, you guys. But listen, I am officially Dr. Dawson. Dr. Dawson. Hello, I'm Dr. Dawson. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Dawson. Hi. Dr. Dawson here. It's such a flex, okay? It is such a flex. I am so excited. I'm so happy. And okay, you guys, big bummer though. I totally forgot to record my presentation. I'm so mad about that. Like, how did I forget that? I logged on 20 minutes early and everything. I was like, oh, I'm going to record my presentation. Did not record it, but I did record it on my camera. So even though on my camera it's just a view of me speaking, at least I still have the audio of how I did, but I won't have like the actual presentation. Kind of sucks, but oh well, it's okay. I'm done. And I'm sure that my presentation, like I can present my presentation again and again because I'm going to move into becoming a full-time social work professor. That is my goal. Now that I'm graduated, now that I'm a doctor, it's time to get this shmoney. It's time to put my research to work. It's time to start making an impact. It's time, okay? So I am ready. I'm ready, you guys. So the presentation went so well, you guys. So in the presentation, I had polls. So polls is like interactive, like you get to vote. I had polls. I had like people write in the discussion box, the chat box. I had a video playing, and I talked, you guys. I talked all the way until maybe like 2:40, 2:45. I did good. I thought that I was gonna finish so early. No, I did so well. I breathed, I slowed down, I thought about what I wanted to say ahead of time. Like while I'm doing the presentation, like I'm thinking ahead, like, okay, this is what I can say, this is what I need to add. It went so well. I think I had a total of maybe like 30 people present. 30. A lot of them were my not a lot, but some were my cohort. Some were like friends from Louisville, close friends, best friends. My aunties joined, faculty. Oh my goodness, it was a range of people. It was such a good range. It was people. It was Alfton. If you're watching this, hello. I think you said you were from Alabama, and now you're admitted to the UK DSW program. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. You just saying that you watched my YouTube videos and you got inspired to go to this program. Oh my gosh, that means the world to me, because I make these videos for purpose. I want people to watch them. I want people to be inspired. So for you to be inspired and actually come to my presentation, like, yes, Assad, I saw you in there. So yeah, my YouTube supporters, my YouTube family, y'all was in the building. Y'all showed out for me. Forever thankful. I'm just on a high right now. If you can see, I need to kind of like come down. I need to like drink me some water. No, I need to come down because I'm doing the most right now. I'm just on a high because I defended my capstone. I went to be DeWayda. I always say that. I don't know why. Y'all know that TikTok. I want to be DeWayda. But DeWayda ain't got no doctorate degree, baby. DeWayda better get like me, okay? I'm just kidding. Woo! Loved it. I loved it. People gave their input. People were saying congratulations. You know, I had a woman come through and like say, thank you for presenting. You inspire me. You make me feel like my son has a safer world to live in because you guys are doing such good work. And that was so touching. So touching. So I'm just so thankful for everybody. I'm so thankful, and I'm done. Wait. Only thing I gotta do is still condense all of my chapters, all of my literature, all of my research, and I have to like put it in an outline. They like gave us an outline, so I have to do that. Put it in an outline, which that probably shouldn't take me longer than an hour and a half, and I have to submit it to UK's portal. So that's it. After that, your girl's done. I've done all my busy work. I'm done with all my classes. I have no more assignments. So it's time to party. It's time to celebrate. It's time to turn up for graduation. Next week, I'll be able to get my doctoral gown and take my pictures. You guys, I haven't taken graduation pictures, but I'm about to take them next week, okay? I'm about to do something different to my hair. And it's just about to be so much fun. I'm about to turn up. I am just so proud of myself. Thank you for everybody who supports me, who's watching me right now. You guys have been on this journey with me 2 years, you guys. 2 years we've been doing this. We're here. Listen, if you're debating, if you're thinking about, should I get my degree? Should I go back? Go back. Go back. It flies. It flies. You look up, you're graduating. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It means a lot. Your family will be super proud of you. You will be super proud of you. You will develop yourself to be whatever professional that you are. You are going to develop yourself even more through a doctoral degree, through whatever degree. If you want to go back and get your master's, whatever, go back. Go back. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's so worth it. Don't worry about them student loans. I heard Joe's about to cancel them. Hey, well, I need them student loans canceled. But anyways, I'm on a high. So you guys, I think that's going to be the end of this video. But I'm gonna make some more videos because like I said, graduation is coming up, so I'm taking you guys with me. So I will catch you guys on the next video.